This week I have a spiffy orange vehicle in my garage in Chicago, and it is the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq N. And that means this is a sport-tuned vehicle. And yeah, there are a few things you should know about this. So first off, yep, it is all electric. Second, it has all-wheel drive. And third, it only has about 221 miles of all-electric range. So what did I decide to do? I decided to drive it to Indianapolis. For those of you who follow me, you know that from my house to my mother's house, it's 196 miles. So, yeah, you can vote below whether or not you think I'm going to be able to make it without having to stop to charge. In all likelihood, I'm probably going to have to stop in Lafayette, but I'm going to try really hard not to do that. And so, I'm capturing my inner zen because I'm trying to go under the speed limit. So once you get on I-65 South, the speed limit is 70 miles per hour, and I am going to set my cruise control at 65. All in the hope that I will be able to make it to Indianapolis without having to stop to charge. Comment below now, and yeah, we'll see if I can actually make it. My name is Jill Ciminillo with Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and yeah, let's go on a road trip. All right, I am getting ready to pull out of my garage, and I wanted to show that I'm at 100% of a charge. I've got 215 miles of range, and yeah, here is the route that the car is going to have me take, and I see a little flag on the route, and it looks like it's trying to get me to stop in Lafayette. So it's saying that I will get there by 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it is currently 1:30 Chicago time. So, yeah, let's see how this goes. All right, I am currently on the highway, and I've hit I-65, and I just wanted to do a quick check-in because I said I was not going to go the speed limit, and I just wanted to confirm I am, in fact, not going the speed limit. So the speed limit is 70. I have my cruise control set at 65, and yeah, I'm kind of surrounded by trucks at the moment who are going a little less than 65. But I'm happy in this lane. I have 140 miles until my destination and 178 miles of range. Maybe I can do it. Let's see if this holds. I don't know, maybe I can do it. It's telling me to exit in Lafayette. That's what that 73 miles thing is. But we'll see. When we get to that point, I'll check in again and we'll see if I actually have to do it. All right, if you look at the clock, you'll notice not much time has elapsed since my last check-in, but I had to do it because a really interesting notification just popped up on the display, and it said that it is now including a driving route that does not include charging stations because it appears that I will be able to make it to my destination. So before it was going to have me exit in about 73 miles, now it's having me exit in 110 miles, and that is to 465 to get around to my mother's house. So interesting. Very, very interesting. We'll see if that holds or if it changes as I get closer to Lafayette. Okay, that's it. I did it. I passed exit 172. That's the exit to Lafayette and the Electrify America station. The only Electrify America station, the only fast charge station between Chicago and Indianapolis, and I passed it. I passed it. And I'm going to tell you why. So I've been going 65 miles an hour, as I've showed you. And it's about 55 degrees out today. 56 is what this is saying right now. I've had my HVAC off. I did turn on my heated seats and my heated steering wheel a little bit, but for the most part, the sun is shining. I'm perfectly fine without having HVAC controls on. So no HVAC controls. I've been driving 65. It's 56 degrees, and it's a straight shot. There aren't any hills or anything like that, just a lot of cornfields. So I get to Lafayette, and I'm close, and I look, and I have about a 40-mile buffer. So right now, as I'm looking at it, I have 63.5 miles to my destination. I have 109 miles of range. So I'm looking at that, and I'm like, that actually feels pretty confident. Like, I'm feeling pretty good about the fact that I am going to make it without needing to charge. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit weird about it. I'm definitely feeling a little bit weird about it, but I made the decision. I know there are some level 2 chargers between here and Indianapolis if I all of a sudden start losing power for some reason, but I'm, at this point, oddly feeling confident that 220 miles of range is going to be enough to get me to Indianapolis. It's going to be more than enough to get me to Indianapolis. I anticipate I'll have about 40 to 45 miles of range to go when I get to my mom's house. So, all right. Yes, I've given you that update. So I want to talk about a couple of other things while I have your attention. So I'm going to go into a few driving impressions really quick. And the first thing I want to say is, for me as a petite driver, this is really not a terribly comfortable vehicle. And I did not find that to be the case with the regular Ioniq 5. But in this vehicle, which is about $20,000 more than the base Ioniq 5, so this is, I want to say the base price for this is about $66,000, you have manual seat adjustments. And instead of like pumping the seat up, it kind of like pumps the seat bottom up. So I feel like my knees are raised above my butt, and I'm just kind of sitting really low. And so the steering wheel also feels a little bit high, but if I lower the steering wheel, it's going to bisect my gauge cluster, which means I'm not going to know how fast I'm going, and there's other information in there that I want to see, and I won't be able to see it. So I feel like I'm kind of stuck driving with the steering wheel up, my butt really low, and on the highway it's not too much of a problem because you're just kind of cruising anyway. But when I'm in the city driving, I find that I've been doing like a lot of like this because I'm trying to look around the vehicle and be able to see through all of the blind spots and the fact that I'm just sitting really low. So obviously not a problem for somebody who's taller, but somebody who's on the petite side of things, this is not a comfortable vehicle. And it's funny because I was just talking to my husband on the phone. He was like, so how do you like it? And I said, I like the idea of it. I really like the idea of the Hyundai Ioniq N. I think that this is really very sporty, fast, fun. I like the orange paint. It's attractive. I like the styling. I like the N badging. You know, I think there's a lot of cool things about it, but in implementation, it has very stiff suspension. So driving through city, like on Cortland, which is one of my favorite streets to drive down to test vehicles because it's got speed bumps. This doesn't do well. I mean, it's narrow enough and it does well in that situation, but it just it's not comfortable to drive over potholes and speed bumps in this vehicle. So I like the idea of it, but maybe not for Chicago. This is certainly more of a suburban, non-city, or at least non-Chicago because the streets suck, vehicle. And I don't know, so it's half a dozen one, six the other. I like the idea of it, but haven't really been loving the implementation of it. Now, before I sign off, you know, and do a final check-in when I get to Indianapolis, I do want to mention one more thing that has to do with the range. So I told you I slowed way down. I'm going 65 miles an hour. The speed limit is 70. And right now I've got a truck in front of me. I'm going about 58. So, and that's kind of how this has gone. You know, when traffic clears up, I pass and I go back to 65. But I don't need to get in front of anybody. I don't need to mash the gas pedal. And here's an interesting thing that happened. When the vehicle thought I was going to have to stop and charge, it said my ETA into Indianapolis was going to be, I think it said 6:27. It was close to 6:30. As soon as I slowed down and was just going at consistent speed, 65 miles per hour seems to be, you know, the winner chicken dinner speed. As soon as I, paced myself and the vehicle clicked out of having me stop at a charging station, it said I was going to arrive at 6:11. Now, I have to tell you, it's been very cringy driving slower than the speed limit, but it's fascinating that I'm driving slower than the speed limit and I'm going to get there faster than if I'd had to, if I was not going the speed limit and I had to stop and charge. So, these are the kinds of things that you have to think about when you're driving an electric vehicle. Do you want to sit in the back of an empty Walmart parking lot where there is no Starbucks, Panera place to go get food and you're just sitting there like a sitting duck? Or do you just want to keep driving the entire time and get there faster than if you had to stop and sit in the middle of a Walmart parking lot? Yeah, I would take driving. Even though driving slower than the speed limit is, as I said, very cringy. All right, we'll do the next and the final check-in when I get to Indianapolis. All right, I have pulled into my mother's neighborhood and color me surprised. I've gone about 196 miles and I still have 56 miles of range left. Now, I will say I did hit a big spot of traffic, which probably had a little bit to do with the fact that I really climbed in my mileage here at the end, because literally stop and go for about 20 miles. But, I'm fascinated and I'm stunned. So if you, at the very beginning, you said that I was not going to make it, you and we were both wrong. I made it. And I still have 56 miles to go. So I will head over to an Electrify America station tomorrow, and I will get all charged up, and yeah, I'll do it again. But I will say, don't expect me to do a check-in. I probably won't do another leg to this trip unless things go horribly wrong. So that is it. That is what I have for you today in the Hyundai Ioniq N. I was able to drive 196 miles with just 220 miles of range, and I still have 55 miles of range left. Even in Jill math, that doesn't add up, but hey, you know what? I'll take it. So, what I want to say is, thanks for watching, and I will see you down the road.